Hello and welcome to the SWAYAM NPTEL course on Mechanical and Electrical Systems of Mining Machines. I am Professor Sunita Mishra from the Department of Mining Engineering, Indian Institute of Technology, Kharagpur. With me, I have my co-instructor Professor Aurobindo Rautray, a very senior faculty from the Department of Electrical Engineering, Indian Institute of Technology, IIT, Kharagpur. And together we will be taking this course for 12 weeks, that is for 30 hours, that you all are welcome to.
Thank you.
Well, this course of Mechanical and Electrical Systems of Mining Machines gives you a coverage of the basics that is required for your core course, that is mining machinery. That is one of the core courses in your third year undergraduate studies of Mining Engineering Division. In this course, we will be going through the fundamentals of mechanical and electrical systems, where first we will be covering the mechanical systems, where first I will be talking about the overview of different machineries that are being used in various mining environment, like in open cast mining system or in underground mining system. What are the different machines that is being used? There are also different kind of machineries that is being used for high wall mining, quarry mining, processing plants, and there are certain auxiliary machines as well. Well, we would be knowing about all of these machines in the core course of mining machinery. However, this course will covering the basics of all of these machines, which will take you down to the simple mechanism. What is simple mechanism? It tells you about the smallest element of a machine, that is a link. Then we will be going to belt drive, rope drive and chain drive that you see in various transport machineries, either the transportation of the material or the transportation of the power. Now, the similar thing we will be also trying to understand from the gear drives. So, we will be learning about toothed gears and gear trains, where we will be dealing with how the power transmission can happen precisely with the help of gears in all these heavy machineries. Then we will be going down to brakes and dynamometers, because we know for halting any machine, the brake is one of the most essential component. So, we will be also learning about another component which we call as the dynamometers. We will be also covering the internal combustion engines, that is the power source of all these heavy machineries. Now, in internal combustion engine, there are again two types, that is a petrol engine and a diesel engine. Why a diesel engine being used in these heavy machineries, we will be knowing in this course. Then we will be going to the complete power transmission that happens from the engines to the wheels or the crawlers of this heavy machineries. So, we will be discussing about the complete mechanism of how power is generated at the engine, and then it gets transmitted to the flywheel, which is stored where the power gets stored in the flywheel, and then it gets transmitted to the clutch. From clutch it goes to the gearbox, and from gearbox it is transmitted to the universal joint, and then there is a propeller shaft, and then there is again a universal joint, and then there is a differential which helps in the transmission of power to the wheels from the propeller shaft, and it also helps the vehicle to take a turn, like how your right wheel and your left wheel, they can turn at a different speed that is achievable by a differential. Then all of this we will be seeing how it is getting applied to the heavy machineries like shovel, dragline, bucket wheel, excavator and so on. We will also learn about the underground machineries like shearer, pumps, continuous miners, LHD, SDL, where I will be giving a brief overview of all these machines in this course. Along with this mechanical aspects, we will be covering the electrical aspects, which will be explained by my co-instructor Professor Aurobindo Rautray. Along with the electrical systems, we will be touching upon the artificial intelligence, machine learning and IoT application to the mining industry through these mining machines. We will be also touching upon the fleet management system, and finally we will be going to the mechatronics in the mining systems. So, with this we will be concluding our complete course of 30 hours, which will span for 12 weeks, where approximately from 30 hours we will be having 6 hours of tutorials, which you will be getting intermittently between the lectures, and at the end you will be appearing in a test which you have to pass to get the final online certification for this course. So, now over to my co-instructor Professor Aurobindo Rautray. Thank you.
Hi, welcome to this course Mining Electrical Equipments, which will be covered by my younger colleague Professor Sunita Mishra and myself. My name is Aurobindo Rautray, and there are TAs like Haro Prasad, and there is one more TA. So, that these two TAs will be helping you in tutorials and all. So, my part is to cover the electrical equipments, which includes power distribution, that is transformers and cables etc., which are there in the mines. Then I will cover transformers, which will take about 10 lectures or so. So, where there will be lot of discussion on electromagnetics, how the power gets transformed, and then the equivalent circuit, voltage regulation, power factor, efficiency etc. Then go to the motion control. Motion control means motors, and there are also linear motion control, rotational motion and linear motion. So, I will focus on few of them. I will be giving a overview of all of them, but mostly I will focus on induction motors, which is about 95% of the cases. In some cases there are special motors like synchronous motor, and nowadays, as you know, there is electric vehicles, where I will cover about few things like permanent magnets, synchronous motors, reluctance motors etc., but they are just principles, but I will go deep into induction motors. So, transformers and induction motors. Then we will also discuss about the control, because mostly you have to do speed control, motion control, braking, as Professor Mishra said that you have to have braking etc. So, these braking will be automatic. So, it has to be, the speed will be controlled, it will brake, and we do not want to waste energy, sometimes you have to feedback the energy. So, I will talk about power electronics, that means electronics converters which will control the speed of the motors. Then we shall of course discuss about control and electronics, and as Professor mentioned also in our talk, that we have also talk about the communication, which is nowadays people call it IoT, Internet of Things. That means every sensor, every mechanism has to be connected to the internet, so that you can get your whole feedback of the things on the control room. So, this will cover drag lines specifically, lots of control, excavators, and there are many other complicated equipments which are like giant robots. So, they will be controlled by these electrical machines. Then one part will be cable. The cable is sometimes flexible, it has to move here and there, and cable has to transmit substantial amount of current and power. Therefore, I will focus on cables, because cables are major source of fault, and that might disrupt the whole operation. So, we will talk about cables. So, these are the four things in fact: transformers, motor like induction motor, cables, and control including power converters. Then as a matter of fact, we will talk about other things like AI applications, diagnostics, prognostics, mechatronics as few lectures. So, the whole course will stretch up to 30 to 35 hours, and there will be tutorials in between. You have to have exams. There are books which will specify, and there are some example problems will work out. I think this course is going to be very unique for mining engineers or electrical engineers which are employed in the mines. So, we will start with fundamentals, so there should not be any issue of not understanding anything. Anybody who has done first year of engineering, that is basic of electricity and mechanics, should be able to make it, and we will keep it as simple as possible, so that you guys get it, and our problems and the workout examples will make it more clear to you. So, thank you, and have a good time with the course. Bye.